Hello everyone, it's your Janitor Supremo TJ Lee, and I just wanted to jump in here really quickly to let you know how grateful I am that we've hit 16,000 subscribers. Now, I'm not going to do this for every milestone, but it kind of felt right just to say thank you because we've grown so much in just a few short months. Since we started 30 and 30 just, 2 months ago. It's insane. And I'm so grateful to all of you who leave support in the comments, in the Discord that we've got. Please consider joining. It's great for fan theories and Sturgeon, the Antlion series, just community, all that good stuff. And for those of you who donate on Patreon as well, you're changing my life every single time you interact on there. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Just wanted to let you know that I'm moving this week. I have prepared the content. Today is something very special. I'll get to that in a moment. But then on Wednesday, it's going to be Chapter 11 of the Antlion series. So if you haven't caught up yet, Chapters 1 through 10 are on the video tab. You can see that and binge it all to your heart's content. And then I'm going to do something on Friday. I'm not quite sure what yet. But please bear with me if uploads are a little bit late. It is a massive adjustment period. Secondly, it is Vidith's birthday today. So I want everybody to wish him a happy birthday in the comments. He is one of the nicest, most generous and kind people I have ever met in this entire time I've been doing YouTube, and I'm so glad he's part of Dusklight, even if it's for a little while he gets his channel sorted. I love him, and I'm sure you guys love him too, so let him know in the comments. And lastly, this is a special video because I decided to both mark the occasion and to give myself some time with the next Antlion project, which is about 90 minutes. I would do the first part of my first ever series on No Sleep, all the way back in 2020. When I first came back to writing. Technically it's the second series, the first was from like 2014, and maybe I'll do that one day, maybe. But this was my way of introducing the audience to Sturgeon. I just didn't know it yet. This was something that I had a lot of fun writing when I was doing a teaching course, going into teaching foreign exchange students, and the end result's kind of fun. So it's nothing crazy, it's not a ton of sound design, not a lot of like epic sound work on it, but I'm really proud of the work that went into this. I don't want to take too much of your time, so thank you all so much for 16k. Please keep an eye out on the schedule, please wish Vidith a happy birthday, and enjoy the very first series I ever wrote in the modern No Sleep era that has never been adapted before. I present to you Class 77B. To be perfectly honest, I was never cut out to be a long-term educator. As I'm sure you could guess, writing is my main passion and something I've fervently pursued until all avenues screamed at me to find a job to sustain myself in the era of modern London, where not even 40,000 would get you more than a shoebox apartment. I'd exhausted my savings, and so I decided to sign on with an agency a friend had recommended. They said the pay wasn't great, but the clientele was superb and consistent. I jumped at the chance to share English lessons with students who had struggled in their first steps integrating into the UK. The population here in London is an eye-watering 12 million, and as a third-generation immigrant myself, I felt that so many of those kids deserve a chance at the boundless opportunities we had here. So, accepting my friend's offer, I met with my caseworker a couple of days later. I tried to look professional with a smart casual attire, but my blonde and black hair, tattoos, and stretched ears betrayed that immediately. I'd never experienced imposter syndrome before, but I certainly felt it as I walked past a litany of educators who appeared far more professional than I. A sea of tweed suits, waistcoats, and neatly combed hairstyles stared at me as I walked into the interview room. Staring back at me was a portly man in his late 40s. He looked to be of Asian descent, his bald head shining under the fluorescent lights as his ears looked snug behind a circular halo of jet black hair. His mustard pinstripe suit practically heaving at the seams as his body shifted forward to shake my hand, a sea of papers shuffling as he stood up.
Ah, Mr. Maeda, I presume. You're Japanese, correct?
He inquired, the first part in perfect English, the latter part in perfect Japanese. I was fluent, but felt guarded when he broached the subject so quickly. Yeah. I mean, I've never been, but yeah, my parents are. I felt awkward. I wanted to get the job based on my merits and passion for English, not because I just so happened to have the right genetics. He clasped his hands together in adulation.
Ah, this is wonderful. You will connect with the children all the more for it. My name is Mr. Shunichi, and I will be your caseworker. We normally have to go through a long process to get you ready for work, but your DBS certificate is clear, and I have an entire class waiting for you. So let's just get down to the nitty-gritty, shall we?
He closed his eyes and flashed his teeth. I was beguiled by how forward he was. Sure, this is a weekly pay, right? Your advertisement said it paid around—
Oh, we can work that out later.
He flapped his flabby arms around. My skin felt like it was bubbling under the surface as he did so.
But you will be compensated above the advertisement for your efforts. Don't worry.
His overwhelming positivity wasn't as disarming as he wanted it to be. If anything, it set me on edge all the more. There was a strong scent of spice in the air, but I couldn't place it. My legs were jumping incessantly on the balls of my feet, but I fought it back and kept my composure. Mr. Shunichi moved his flabby, sweaty hands across the table and rested it upon a folder with the words Class 77 emblazoned over the front, with a symbol I assumed was the school sigil, though I didn't get a long enough look to make out much beyond a circle and some indentations in the center. He pulled out the top sheet with each of the students' photos and accompanying names on it and slid it towards me.
This will be your induction sheet. Each child, as I'm sure you're aware, comes with their own separate information file that you must familiarize yourself with for safeguarding purposes. However, these are different.
He trailed off, heaving his huge frame forward and walking towards the window opposite his desk.
Your students have what we like to call uppers, downers, and contingencies. By which we mean things that you must do to keep them happy, things to avoid making them sad, and contingencies if the latter should occur.
I'm sorry, but this is beginning to confuse me. I thought they were foreign students. Are you implying they have severe difficulties I need to be aware of? Because I'm not trained in that area. I began, feeling the promise of a great paying job slipping away, but I couldn't just lie to him when it came to something like this.
Look over the first 5 names for me, Mr. Maeda. If you would, please read the information on each one. This may help you to understand why our institution is so unique.
He walked towards me and patted me on the arm, the clammy digits practically digging into my collarbone effortlessly as he did so.
I'm sure when you've done so, you'll realize why this is a wonderful opportunity for you. I'll fetch us some coffee.
He left the room and the soundproof door slid shut with a hiss. I looked over the sheet and stared at the first 5 students in front of me. Class 77, Japanese transfer students. Grade/year 10. Educator, Mr. Maeda. Student 1. Murakami Akiko. Upper. Akiko is at her happiest when listening to a 10-hour recording of what you think are giant salamanders eating small rodents, birds, or infants with the sound turned up to 262%. This will not affect Akiko's hearing, and you should ignore any drooling, croaking, or requests for food from her during this time. Downer. Akiko will become enraged beyond any logic and reason if she sees the portrait hanging in the custodian's room or is told the story of the Kappa. She should be given a route that always avoids the custodian's room and be excused from any lessons involving mythical beasts. Contingency. Akiko can be calmed by tapping your desk in a 9-8 time signature. She will stop what she's doing, focus on the beat, and eventually calm herself down before returning to her studies. Please do not make her aware she had an episode, and don't bring attention to the things she keeps in her desks as presents. You don't want to know what is in there. Student 2. Oshido Zuri. Upper. Zuri has a fascination with tarantulas, specifically a species of jumping spider that she carries on her person at all times. She will sometimes space out on lessons to focus on feeding the spider or grooming it, but she is a studious young woman and will perform admirably in class, I assure you. Downer. Please do not draw attention to the spider, regardless of how many times other students insist that it's sitting where Zuri sits. If a student ever feels sick, immediately send the students to a meditation break. Ensure all corners of the room are empty and lock the doors and windows before opening up your blackboard to administer the antivenom. If the neurotoxin has progressed to such a point that the student is now a liability, contact Nurse Perkins via the button under your desk. Contingency. If Zuri has not eaten in several days, it is vital you insist on educating her one-on-one from a separate room as extra tutoring. She will be greeted by an old friend who is always male, in his 40s, and calls her his special princess. When you hear a wet crunch, turn off the audio feed and keep the room quarantined for 72 hours. Student 3. Koke Taisuke. Upper. Taisuke is entirely dedicated to his studies. He will insist on being the class president and carrying out all duties to the best of his ability. If you value your life, you will never stop him in these endeavors. When you enter the room, he will demand in a voice that is not his own for all the students to bow, offer you gifts, and once per season a sacrifice of blood. Accept all of these things and do as he instructs. Downer. Taisuke can never lose at chess. Ever. If you feel this is going to happen with another student, you must set fire to the room or something equally as drastic to force his opponent's hand and make him concede the game. He will not be himself afterwards, but it's far better than a student from another class gambling with forces they could never hope to understand. Contingency. If you ever tell Taisuke no, you must get on your hands and knees and beg for forgiveness. I realize that in our British culture this is unheard of, but at that moment, you are not begging Taisuke for forgiveness. Offer your most treasured limb as an offering and be thankful if he only takes the end digit as payment. Never speak of it again, and learn from the mistake. Note: Taisuke has been a heavy focus of Akiko since they arrived here in the UK. She claims she can hear his life being snuffed out one beat at a time, and wants to move her seats closer to his in order to help. We found a series of items in Akiko's desk that are contrary to her claims and wish to keep Taisuke focused. Please do not allow them to move seats. Student 4. Inoue J. Upper. J is completely fluent in English and will happily converse with you on any topic you wish. He will greatly enjoy speaking about things he's invented. Events from English, Japanese, Mesopotamian, Honduran or Mongolian history, and even from some cultures that time has long forgotten. You will almost immediately notice that J is mixed race and in his mid-30s. We ask you to overlook both of these things. Downer. If a student ever asks Jay anything pertaining to future events beyond the school day, be that a question of his plans for the weekend, movies he's excited about, or goals for the future, he will immediately regress into himself and begin to chant in an unknown language. The chant will fill the room as a thick, viscous liquid drips from every orifice he has. Students will be compelled to lick it. Let any who wish to do so, as they are already lost to this school and this world. Contingency. Should Jay ever begin to recite text from the religious group of Bo Set Sung, immediately alert the custodian Odo-san, who will set him on fire by any means necessary. Ignore any screams you hear regardless of the voice that calls out. If Jay proceeds to scream out future dates, either run from the room or deafen yourself. When Jay reappears the following month, he will know what you did and will apologize for his own transgressions. Be wary. Student 5. Sugimoto Chihiro. Upper. Chihiro is not a real student. She will not appear on any registers you have and will never answer any questions you ask. Treat her as if she were there anyway. Her seat will never be filled and she will only manifest on the 12th of every month. You'll know she's near when cherry blossoms fall outside the window despite there being no discernible trees outside. Make sure everyone says one positive thing or shares a memory of Chihiro loudly and that all are responded with, "We are grateful for Chihiro, she keeps us safe and takes only what she needs." Downers. For 40 minutes starting at 2 PM, Chihiro will implore you to turn around and look upon her face. to make her feel like she's truly a part of the class and not just a figment of your imagination. You are free to do this, but you are responsible for what you say or do when you look upon her. Choose your words carefully and do not let her take her hood off. No mortal man is ready for what is underneath. Contingency. Odo-san has a monthly supply of Shinto prayer beads, and you are to wear these for 3 days leading up to her manifestation and 3 days after, starting and ending at 2 p.m. If you have angered her in any way or taken off the beads before the allotted time, you will need to prove your loyalty by finding the first lone human you come across and willingly or unwillingly taking 4 pounds of their flesh for consumption. You do not have a choice in this if you wish to avert grief beyond measure. Should you accept the job offer, more information will be provided to you as well as safety locations in the school, faculty information, and a benefits package. We hope you will join the JPGB Foreign Exchange Initiative. I put the paper down and stared, the smell of spices burning my nostrils as I tried to make sense of what I'd just read. Each of these students were definitely real kids. That much I could tell based on allergen information, addresses, and arrival dates. But this school info? Surely it was a joke. Maybe it was designed to test my sense of loyalty. God knows. But I didn't have much more time to mull it over before Mr. Shunichiro came back into the room, 2 black coffees in hand.
So, I take it you've looked over some of our top students, yes?
He smiled as he handed me the coffee.
Not all our students have such rigorous requirements, but it's important we ensure that they all have special needs taken care of. A child's education is as important as upholding cultural traditions for comfortability, is it not?
He paused as if to wait for my agreement. I merely nodded, but this satisfied him. He took a deep breath in before pushing me to drink the coffee. I tried, but it burnt my lips the moment it even got near, so I set it down. He frowned at me before continuing.
If you are willing to take the job, I would be happy to negotiate a signing bonus for you and ensure your salary went up upon completion of a successful term.
In that moment, I began thinking of my impending bills, the rent being due, and how nice it would be to actually pay for new video games for once. I don't know what possessed me. Maybe it was the smell making me dizzy, my arms forming small red bumps where it begged me to scratch, or just that I'd been convincing myself that it was nothing more than some fun induction course to suss me out. But I ended up accepting there and then. No sooner had I done so, that the smell immediately faded. My skin felt smooth, and I felt at ease. Shunichiro grabbed my hand with both of his, shaking it eagerly before bowing deep and thanking me over and over. He shoved a huge folder into my hands before ushering me out the door, wishing me well, and telling me all I needed to know about my first day was in the induction manual. I turned around to thank him, but the door was already shut, and I could hear a retching from the other side. Maybe he was feeling unwell. The other candidates who were here before me had vanished, and the only person left was the receptionist, who gave me a weak smile as I headed to my car. That was earlier today. I've yet to really get stuck into the folder, partly because I wanted to document this experience for brevity, and partly because there was a small note attached to the front of the paper that, despite my nature of brushing everything off, has me suddenly very apprehensive. Interviewer: Shunichiro Rinji. Uppers: Rinji has a food quota of at least 4 per day. This can be split between 2 adults in the morning and evening, or 6 pups across the day. He enjoys dressing up and should be given a smart outfit, cleanly pressed to match his scent on that given day. If Rinji touches you, be wary, but do not become uncomfortable. He will sense it. Downers: avoid telling Rinji the smell is too strong. He will become offended, and I assure you if it does knock you out, you will wish you had never woken up. You may hear something screaming from his stomach, but it's most likely your imagination. If his hand reaches out for you suddenly, let him grab you. He is only curious about your scent, and if he's been sufficiently fed, you have nothing to worry about. Contingency: should Rinji become underfed, his horns will protrude and he will begin to lose his shape. If he fully acquiesces to the demonic form, select the phone contact Yama and wait for the thumping to stop. If he elects to continue working while hungry, you are forbidden from getting involved when that door closes. He will test whoever is in there, and if they pass, they will be freed. Ignore the smell and don't ask him what he put in the coffee. Once he has marked his prey, they will be unable to flee or avoid his whims. Sweat trickles down my brow as the situation becomes all too familiar. My shoulders feel heavy, and hints of mustard hit my nostrils. This note was definitely in the folder before he arrived. I never saw the guy slip anything into it. I turn over the note and see in a crude, scratchy font a short sentence with dried yellow fluid spilled all over it. You were always destined for this. If you flee, I'll know. There is a purpose for you beyond death. Don't waste it. I've been trying to do research on the school, even going as far as to check the map location where I'll be going based on the confusing travel arrangements. But my anxiety was only heightened when I clicked the image and was redirected to something that wasn't a school, a municipal building, or any kind of institution. It was a nuclear plant. Most heartfelt greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. I eagerly welcome you to Sturgeon's most premier station, Dusk Light Radio, hosted by yours truly, the effervescent, ethereal, and immersive Everett J. Blackwell. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out some of our other transmissions. We're adding them regularly, and we'd love to have you as part of the Dusklight family by subscribing, hitting the bell of snakes, and you guessed it, more snakes, and leave a comment with stories you'd love for my many-legged runners to find. Now, I want to thank all of our patrons for making this possible. If you want to sign up, it's as little as $1 a month, and you get exclusive content, early access videos and stories, updates, and more. But times are tough, and we will always be grateful for support no matter what form it comes in. Financial, spiritual, corporeal, maniacal, whatever you want. It really helps us out. Dusklight gives thanks to, first, our Sturgeonite faithfuls: Sabrina Alexander, Laree W., PRDL12, Jason Webb, Jimmy Ricardo, 21 Keys, Jack the Lad, Nathan Billings, J.I. Lara, Val Was Taken, Amy Walrath, Dexter, Heather Gee, P. Tripp, Super Abyss, and Morgan Ra. Our Purple Crayon Eaters: Feeny Von Karma, Max, Phi, Amara, Ashabel, Candyman Gloving, Mike, Alex, Gail Allstott, Echo Kion, Ian Hancocks, and Kendra Wilson. Our janitors: Alex Nunez, Arkham Cookie, Amy, Adrian R., Heather Cayley, Scott, Death31, Sabila Eclipse, Joy Flint Healy, Dux, Shane Lewis, and Allie. Our Nightmare Detectives: Fox Clifford and Melanie Schaefer. Our Void Walkers: Professor Creepypasta, Rat Squatch, and Josh Woods. And lastly, our Blackwell family members: Great Uncle Ven Blackwell with his forbidden knowledge, Izzy Blackwell, our resident bug devourer, Adela Blackwell's firebending and illusions, Ethan Blackwell, abyssal fisher and repo lord, Jackal Blackwell, head chef and mystery meat purveyor, Clue Blackwell, the chrysalis of unknowable horrors, Tabitha Blackwell, void water baron and forever frenemy to our last entrant, Papa Kyle Blackwell, from his tower of bones, broth and spines, preparing for the outer gods to recognize his claim. We love and fear you, Papa, and we thank all of you humbly for your patronage and look to see you bright and early for Dusklight orientation. Purple crayons and existential dread will be provided. And one last time, listeners, close your eyes and breathe with me. Remember, no matter how bad things are, how cruel people can be, and how heavy your shoulders may feel with the weight of the world bearing down on them, Dusklight will always be here to lift the load and provide you with some respite. Drink some hot cocoa with chocolate sprinkles and fat marshmallows. Have all the Christmas candy you can manage, watch a video about liminal spaces and cryptid sightings, and sleep on the cool side of the pillow with the window open and the stars twinkling down on you. Start and end each day with kindness in your heart. You matter, you are loved, and every day is another chance. I'll see you again when the sun sets and dusk enters the station.